So, hello and welcome back to my exploit development playlist. In the last video we did take a look at the split challenge, and we had a small issue with our payload where we would get some byte encoding issue, and that is because we didn't call decode and receive all. So that was just a small thing that I wanted to point out. So as you can see, now we don't get this issue anymore and the output looks much cleaner. So that's just something that I wanted to show. So in this video, we will solve the Callme challenge. So let's take a look at that. Challenge 3, Callme. And here we will again download the binary. So let's use the middle one again for our exploit script, and this here for our debugging session. And here we need to do multiple calls. And there are three functions: callme1, callme2, callme3. And they need to be called with these arguments: that beef, cafe babe, and dude food. And in our case, we are using the 64 binary. We need to double them. So let's copy these. Okay, let's import everything again. Let's make a list of these. And also, I can't be bothered to type that all out. So let's just call this params. So far, so good. So let's take a look. Of course, we also again need our offset. And then heading equals a times offset. Let's take a look here. Sorry. So let's see. Use for gadgets and use functions. Here we have the addresses at the PLT. Callme2, callme1, and callme3 at the PLT. Let's take a look at useful functions. Useful function. Here are calls. Perhaps that we have them in the PLT. But here are the addresses to our functions. But I want to resolve this dynamically again. So basically what we want to do here, if we would do it manually, is to prepare our stack. So let's say this is our stack. Then we would need to have a gadget pop RDI, RSI, and so on. So let's take a look at the 64 calling conventions. So RDI, RSI, and RDX, these are our three arguments that we would need to populate. These are system calls, but this is the same calling convention also for regular functions. So we would need to do that manually and would need to find a gadget here that does that. And afterwards we would need to place our arc0, arc1, arc2, and then our function that we want to call. So if we take a look at that, we return here into our gadget. This then pops three values from the stack into registers, and then it returns here into our function, and the arguments are prepared. But that seems pretty tedious to me, so I would like to automate that using pwntools. And we took a look last time at how that goes already. So let's prepare some things here again. Same thing as last time. We load the elf. We disable the output of the information, like the security information, the checksec information. And we set the context binary. Then of course we need to find our offset. Okay, let's do that. For doing that, the easiest way is still to just pattern create 100 and run our binary until we need to input stuff and input our pattern again, and then pattern offset the stack pointer, and this is again 40, so that's good. Also, we don't need to worry about stack alignment here anymore at this section, because I don't think the functions care about that. We only cared about that last time because system uses some instructions that need to be 16 byte aligned. So we need to, of course, now get somehow these symbols, and that is really easy through a ROP object in pwntools. I've studied the pwntools a little bit, and it's really cool actually what you can do. So we know the first function is called Callme1, so we can just do something like this, and this should already look up the symbol for us and also use the correct parameters here. And as we can see, that looks really easy. Also, we don't need to concatenate always like we did last time. We can also use flat to pack things together and flatten it out, basically. And that is just the padding. And then we can get the actual payload of the ROP chain like so. Then we can take a look at, let's just run it again. So we again have this caret here. So open the process first. And we can do that again because the binary gets inferred through the context binary. And then let's enter some things. I wanted to take a look at the output, but see, just enter a bunch of A's here, and then we get thank you. So that is what I wanted to know. So we don't need to log this out. We only want to log out the actual flag, and then we can basically log out our flag again, and don't forget to call decode here, because otherwise pwntools will scream at us again. And with that, I think we should already have solved it. Let's see if that actually is the case. And as we can see, we have the flag here, but we also got two other outputs here that we don't want to see. Like so, we can mitigate that. And now nothing works anymore. Perfect. In this order, of course. And now the output looks cleaner, and as we can see, we've solved our next challenge. And yeah, that was everything for this video. Again, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.